Hey, you, welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we're very excited to let you all know that our mass marketing campaign for Bitcoin MYK has began. So we started our first month out in December, and much of that had to do with setting up the mechanics of the site so that it was usable. Went through our testing period, and so far everything's looking good. So now the goal is to get people, large numbers of people using the site, because in cryptocurrency, without wallets, without community, without a use for your token and trading of the token, then the cryptocurrency does not work. So what we've done is we've went out and sought professional agencies to help us accomplish this. Now, I've been a critic of the marketing over the cryptocurrency space. I've often been quite critical about marketing being so ineffective in cryptocurrency. Uh, Now that I'm in the same situation as many of them, my views have become a little bit more clear about what the problems are and why certain coins have difficulty marketing and getting the word out. Um, and so we're going to cover that a little bit today and talk about what exactly our methods are for this mass marketing campaign. Who do we expect to reach? So from the title, you can tell right off the bat that we have already made deals with marketing agencies and companies, and they have pretty much guaranteed us in the first wave about 50 million unique visitors. About 5 million will be directly targeted to the United States. And the rest will be global. They will be unique. They will not be bots or anything like that. And so in our first wave of our marketing campaign, we're expecting to see results of this within over the next few days. And so in this Medium article here, it's done by a gentleman by the name of Marco Serra. He talks about some of the ways a cryptocurrency should be marketed. And we'll leave a link in the description. You can look into it, and maybe that'll help us understand why many projects haven't been successful, why some only have a few million wallets or not even a million users at all. And so we're going to talk about why I believe Bitcoin MYK will be very vastly different from that, the reasons why. And we're going to take a look at this article and get a basic lineup of, what we should be doing, maybe what we shouldn't be doing. So he explains that you should keep it very simple. Don't just focus on technical details, right? And so that's been one of my main critical points against a lot of the cryptocurrency space, that this was a market driven to very technically advanced people, or at least it was presented to people that way. And this doesn't go over well with, the average user. Most people aren't developers. Most people aren't, minds don't work like calculators, and most people just want simplicity, user interfaces. This is what the average person is like. And if you want mass adoption, you're going to have to keep your products very simple, very user friendly. And I'm not going to go through his entire article, but maybe just, you can get a basic idea. Don't be a solution in search of a problem, right? It means that you are in a gut market with a product that can satisfy that market. Your product needs to satisfy the need of a real market. So what is a real market? You need to do a lot of market research, talking to real people to find out what their problems are and how your technology can help solve them. And so that's another interesting question. When over the cryptocurrency space, when these products are developed, are they talking to everyday real life people who they expect to use the products, or are we just going to be communicating with a council of developers that have this idea concept about how they would like things to to work? Because if that's the case, it's no wonder that this space hasn't been able to adopt quicker. Now, looking at it from a very practical lens, to me, I don't understand. Well, I understand now better than I did, but I don't understand why the top leading cryptocurrencies don't have over 50 million wallets. That is confusing to me. I think we will beat those numbers very quickly. I think that we will have become the leading cryptocurrency as far as use and numbers of wallets. I don't doubt that one bit. I've been saying that all along, and I mean for that to happen. But they're asking, as you can see in the article, what's the purpose of the project? What's the concept? What is the business model? And if they're addressing real problems, because if there's not a real problem, there isn't a real demand. You can't just go make up a go find, as the article says. He says the don't be a solution in search of a problem, meaning they're they're creating a problem and then they're solving it, right? Be transparent and open. Be upfront on your website and your platforms. Explains who you are, your team, showcase your backgrounds, what makes you the right team, and tackle the specific problem that you are addressing. That is your experience and why we should trust you. In other words, be transparent, communicate with the public. Now, there's another thing that's happened quite a bit in cryptocurrency. We just don't get communication at a level I'm comfortable with, that I get to know the people who are involved with the projects. Like I myself, many people who watch my videos or know who I am, they pretty much receive information from me on a daily basis. Now, I'm not saying that cryptocurrency CEOs and whoever's at the helm of these projects, or whoever are the biggest stakeholders who have the most skin in the game, I'm not saying that they need to be in touch with everybody every day or even every week. But it does need to be a comfort level there where people are able to receive information from you to the point they're comfortable. They're comfortable with what's going on. They're not in the dark about what's going on. Don't know what's going to happen next. You made an announcement, a date for something to occur at a certain juncture. It didn't happen. And then when you did get in touch with them, you told them about when it may happen in the future, instead of telling them ahead of time what to expect. And so, all of these things are very important. Staff your crypto startup with customer facing resource. Staff your startup with customer facing, such as social media marketing specialists, right? That's why we've hired people who can market and do things better than us, who can reach 50 million people, who can get 50 million people on our website, right? Specialists, blog writers, designers, storytellers, community managers, customer service representatives. When you contact the project, the token, can you expect somebody to respond? And again, this all goes back to communication, right? Make sure your developers and marketers talk to each other. This is very interesting because I have a marketing background. I've worked in finance, been a licensed stockbroker, commodities broker. And I found myself sometimes speaking with developers and trying to give them a marketing angle about certain projects. And these developers have utterly ignored me. Right? They have their own way of doing things. When I ask them about the marketing, they generally say, "Oh, marketing is easy. We got this in the bag." Well, if marketing is so easy, why does the cryptocurrency space have under 50 million wallets per coin? Why do they only have a couple of million people with wallets when we have websites that get that many visitors per day sometimes? So it's clearly an issue there that's not being addressed. The marketers and the developers, from what I've seen in the cryptocurrency space, don't have a really good union. Either that or the marketers aren't really marketers, which is probably more likely what it is. Many of the marketers are just people that were in the room somehow, and they're not a company, they're not a firm, they can't get the hits to the site. Take massive marketing action. There are many crypto assets and startups, so if you want attention, you need to take massive marketing action to get it. Now, as I had said earlier, our first month out, we spent just developing the site, right? Took us a month to do it. We did it in a month. And now we're doing the mass marketing the following month. Now, a lot of times, oftentimes, we hear things like, oh, we're going to need to do this and develop this. It's going to take this long. But it doesn't take that long to get people, sync with your project and on board if it has a great demand. In fact, we know many of us already know in the cryptocurrency space that many of these coins and tokens have gotten financial support. They've gotten all the money they need to start the project before there was a working project. They've gotten all of that. So their tokens have been traded before there was any kind of good working product. So that shows me that the people, if they like the idea and they like the concept, they will support your project, and they're behind it. It doesn't matter if it's fully developed yet or anything like that. And that's just the way it works. And so taking massive marketing action, I don't know if it's a time frame for that really. In our case, we did it we're starting it this month. We started today actually. And the only reason we didn't start it before is we wanted a product that was working first that people can start to use. Start building your prospect database early on. It says early on. Every company needs customers, and they need them right away, right? Business to business, business to companies. You need to work on the adoption of your product early on. Be proactive. Reach out to your target market, build relationships. And so you do that early, very early. It doesn't say do it after you've reached a certain point in the process. Like when I hear from Manycoins, we're going to start our marketing, and it's like years down the road. I just think that's utterly ridiculous. The earlier you start, the more prepared you will be for the day your product launches and is ready to open the doors to the first customers. Establish a presence where your target audience is. Build a hub for your project, right? A social media hub of some sort. And it's not all about you. If you look at the social media profiles of many cryptocurrency startups, you see a lot of pure marketing messages tooting their own horn. There's a space for that, but the first priority for your content strategy should be to create content of value to the audience you are targeting. Is it valuable? Can they use it? Is it something that they need? Don't just promote your own product, but become a part of a broader conversation. Engage with the audience, share commentary on the latest industry news. And that's how we started, right? We talk about Bitcoin NYK, but we also talk about other things in the industry. We talk about other coins. We do other content and videos on other things not related to us. And so you need a presence there. You need to publish educational and insightful analysis. Put the focus on your team members. Your content needs to deliver value, bottom line, right? And does it do that? And so let's try to contrast that to Bitcoin NYK just a little bit. Many of us know what we're trying to do in the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin has a transactional problem, yet its main goal is to be a money, right? Its main goal was to be a money, and when we found it couldn't be a money, then we moved it over to being a store of value. But being a store of value still needs to be linked to being a transactional money, right? So, similar to gold. Gold was a store of value, but it was also a very easy way to use as a money, right? You could carry gold. It wasn't maybe the easiest thing to do, but it was transportable. And so Bitcoin, for instance, in the cryptocurrency is our main coin, the most trusted and the most secure. Bitcoin does not works the least it works the worst as a transactional money, right? We can think of any coin that does better than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin MYK kind of tethers to Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is that whatever Bitcoins you hold at any time, you hold that amount of Bitcoin MYK, and you can kind of act that value at high speed, very user friendly for a lot of people who don't know anything about crypto to use it. It has a very friendly social media like presence and interface, something people are more or less comfortable with to begin to use a cryptocurrency. And so anybody who holds Bitcoin, it helps to solve that problem of Bitcoin. It's also a Bitcoin fork, which means that you're going to receive the same value of Bitcoin you're holding in addition to that. And then it moves into the tokens that aren't being used, that have been lost, and various things go out to a universal basic income program that allows people to mass adopt people who need this the most in places where their monetary system doesn't work. And they're able to come in through the universal basic income program, help us to mass adopt this. Now everybody has a wallet and everybody can move their transaction globally and at a very low cost to each other around the globe. And so that's where we're at with this. 80% of the global market lives at the poverty level or below. That's 80% of the entire world that needs ways to trade their value, and needs this problem to be solved. So it's this huge demand that's being met through a monetary system that addresses that, right? Regular public communication is key, covering a lot of things we've already mentioned. Ignore the market cap and the coin price in your marketing. Now, looking at Bitcoin MYK, the reality is, whereas a lot of people do look at price and they only get excited when you have price movements, the reality of the situation is, unless your product is actually serving the demand, and unless it can be used as a transactional money, those market cap and prices aren't going to matter, because this is going to turn into a product that nobody can use. That's why nobody really uses it now, because who can use it? It's so funny, because there used to be this idea where everybody thought Bitcoin was a scam and they called it a scam. And then they would go, oh, only terrorists and drug dealers use it to transact money. But let's think about that for a moment. Would that be a good business? Because the volatility of, with these products, even if you think of something like drugs, the volatility of Bitcoin would make drugs so hard to do business with that nobody would want to do it. They would rather go back to the briefcases with money and stuff like that. It just doesn't make any sense. So the reason you don't pay attention so much to market cap and coin price in the beginning is because you want a product in demand. You want to first look for projects that solve these, have our solutions for these demands, and that are stable, right? And when you do get growth rates, they are healthy ones, and they move in an incline pattern in a very stable way. So you know that the money that you put in yesterday, of course, there'll be some changes there, but you know that it's pretty much the same value it was yesterday. Otherwise, you don't you don't have anything dependable, right? It's and the cryptocurrency space have just utterly ignored this, and I'm not exactly sure why that is. Um, and he's talking about how, basically just pretty much saying what I just said about price of these currencies going up and down. Be available and actively manage your community. We try to do that at Bitcoin NYK. We have several ways to communicate with us, and we try to answer all questions. Encourage and welcome user-generated content. User-generated content is very welcome and encouraged by most brands in social media. Brands that are doing the best in terms of social media engagement are usually those that have the most dedicated fan base. Let's talk about dedicated fan base. Now, a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space, they focus on technology, right? And the idea is there's going to be this great product, this that everybody can use. It's going to work good. It's going to, it's going to work like clockwork, and everybody's going to come on and use it. If we build it, they will come. But that's not necessarily the case. Some people are fans of certain projects they like, not necessarily because they're better, but they just have a dedicated fan base because the concept of it matters. Some people want to go to a 7-star restaurant and have a steak. But most people might want to go to Burger King or McDonald's, and Burger King or McDonald's can boast they serve the most customers, and they have the biggest fan base, bigger than these 5-star restaurants, right? And so that's due because they have a fan base, they have a concept the general public subscribes to. Some of the general public don't want to take their significant others out for an expensive steak dinner every night. They probably hit fast food several times a week. Working on turning your fans into brand advocates. Your community members can be a key to your marketing success. They can help to do marketing and spread word of mouth of you. So we have an affiliate program, and everybody that our affiliates bring in, they get a percentage of tokens as well, and that allows our community to be active, to be involved, and that's what you want. And at the same time, incentivize and reward it, right? Because at the end of the day, these tokens need to incentivize us, they need to reward us, and they need to be sustainable. If they aren't, there's no reason for me to really be involved in your token. These tokens, many cases, want us to just come in with our money and take many risks. Maybe it should be different. Maybe I shouldn't have to take any risks. Maybe you should take the risk. And then if I come in and like your product, then I'm part of it. Shouldn't be that I take all these risks, lose all my money, and get nothing in return, or lose 90% of my value. I believe his name is Grant Cardone, one of these money guru guys. And I'm not really big at watching money gurus or anything like that. I feel that if you understand, if you are a student of the economy, if you understand how money works, if you've taken an economic class, much of the stuff that they're telling you, you're probably going to know anywhere or get it. But Grant Cardone did say something I found interesting and probably true about how the cryptocurrency space should be conducted. And what Grant Cardone said was, he said that the problem with cryptocurrency is people want you to just come in and buy. He said, why don't cryptocurrencies give everybody a sample? Let them see how they like it. Let them use it. Mass adopt everybody in, and that's how you do it. If they like it, they use it. But these coins can't do this because many of them have been scams from the beginning, and they need the money because their projects are over budget and it costs too much to maintain them. And so they can't afford to do that. What we've done, that's why we have many ways you can get our tokens, and that's why we have the UBI program that allows people to get these tokens that are available without paying for them. And the reason that is not to give away value for free. We're not giving away any valuable tokens. These are lost tokens. These are unclaimed tokens. But it still fulfills the basic idea of letting people try your products without them taking the risk first, right? And so we believe this will work quite well in the model we're using. Like I said, not to be overconfident with Bitcoin MYK, but I think we have the demand, we have the numbers, and we have the interest to the point where we can achieve this. And I think it will make a lot of sense value wise to people out in the world. Don't take any shortcuts. Some projects are too impatient and try to force the success in social media engagement. They do this by buying fake followers, using automated software to fake the hype, creating multiple accounts that fake the engagement, and more. Yes, this is very true. And this is done because many of these tokens are under pressure to do this. Why? Because they don't have the natural demand. They're not going to have the natural demand. Even if they put this in front of people, they still aren't going to be able to get these people to convert over to be a token holder. And that's how come so many tokens can have so many marketing campaigns. They can have the greatest marketing campaigns. They can have celebrities, and they still have under 2 million wallets. Why? Because the product itself is not really serving the needs of people. Establish clear guidelines internally, and externally. Draft clear social media guidelines internally for your team. Whatever they share on social could be watched by the audience and considered, reviewed, and speculated on. Be clear with your team on what type of crypto-related content they should or should not be posting in public. Be prepared by having guidelines for how to approach different situations that can occur on social media too. Anything from questions, negative comments, to different crisis situations. You want to have clear guidelines and instructions on how to deal with these before they happen. It might be difficult to think clear while you're putting out fires. Clear guidelines help in such situations. Reminds me of what happened with Bitcoin Private. There were 2 million coins that came out of nowhere, over 2 million, that weren't supposed to be available, that somehow managed to become unlocked and available above the amount of tokens that were supposedly in circulation. That was a public disaster. And now they, at the last minute, they had to kind of scramble to try to fix this and let people know, well, we're going to have to maybe fork this, or we're going to have to, burn these tokens or do something. And, this disaster came about after it was out, and people are already trading in many issues. And so that's why it's very important to have these clear guidelines, what you're going to do if this happens, and various things like that. Deliver on all your promises. Keep your promises and meet your milestones. Ship on time or ship early. Under promise and over deliver rather than over promise and under deliver. That's what we're trying to do here. Now, we're expecting, like I said, 50 million unique visitors, and that's a number that we expect to have through the marketing campaigns we're doing business with, and so we expect that to be a reality. Now, as far as conversion, many concerns, of course, in marketing is how many people are going to actually use this and convert over. With a reach of about 50 million people, even if we only hit around 1% to 2% that were holders of our token, which I'm pretty confident there will be, that's right there over 1 million wallets. Would be our first month out, and I'm expecting those kind of results. With 80% of the global marketplace living in poverty and above, yet their skills are above what they're being paid. We can do a lot with that. And I speak about how to convert that with our website and with our task workers program that will be launched this month. And so I think everything's going to be well in that department. But the over promising and under delivery, it's happened all throughout the crypto space, and continues to happen. And many of us are full aware of that. Ship products and ship features, monitor mentions and links, analyze your audience to inform your further marketing activities, regularly evaluate the performance and measure the results. Yeah, that's true to make sure things are working. Of course, we are seeing a progression. We've only been out a month, but we're seeing that progression, and we know that each month's going to be better than the last month. And so we do feel in that way we are progressing along. But I just want to add that I think what's going to be very important is our relationship and uh, uh, presence with the community we're targeting. And, as I mentioned in many of my videos, our videos, it's been a hot topic around universal basic income. We have presidential candidates running about it. The universal basic income communities are very close knit, they are very conscious, and they are very gelled together. And those are the type of communities that can promote and put together a good cryptocurrency space with the marketing firms handling getting traffic to our site and our cause. It's going to allow our team to focus on going into these type communities. I'm not going to waste a lot of time with cryptocurrency communities, and I'm going to tell you guys why. The cryptocurrency communities, in my opinion, at this time have been contaminated. We do the same things. We gamble. We play the casino. We only respond when it's prices. We buy into projects that have very little value and very little demand. We invest billions of dollars to get a dice game. This is, in my opinion, ridiculous. We're not going to waste our time in many of these cryptocurrency communities. We're going through a social media interface, interact with these universal basic income communities and programs, and people who are really going to use our token and find demand in them. Now, of course, the cryptocurrency community, they're already in crypto, they already know about it. They're already in the 50 million wallets, the 2 million wallets, or whatever the numbers are. They're already in. We need to go out and get the rest of the world in and give them a viable product they all can use. And so that looks like all of the article. Thank you, Mr. Marco Saric, for your Medium article. Follow him, subscribe to him. I think he did a great job with this article. So we're expecting a lot, guys. We got high hopes about what's going to happen with our token. And, I'm very optimistic, maybe too optimistic, but I'm very confident this will work. And I think it's very much what we need. So, guys, if you haven't joined us yet, the invitation is here. It's out there. Follow us, keep up with our content, check on our progress. We will succeed where many have failed. Guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe. And until next time, take care.